Wow. I cannot believe it. I have Otiti Wright on the line with me today, y'all. This is an awesome woman, entrepreneur, author, life coach, mother. The list continues to go on and on and on and on and on and on. Before we get into more about who you are and what you do, your name is so beautiful and it's unique. Now, it's spelled Otiti, right?
Correct,
But it's
correct.
pronounced Atiti.
Otiti.
Atiti. Now tell us the origin and what that means.
Okay, so my father, Arobasa Wagbai, he is from Nigeria,
Wow.
Africa. So he gave me his mother's name. And my full name is Atiti Amotia Wagbai Wright. So
Woo!
I got the right from my husband because I've been married about 8 years and he's originally from South Carolina. I'm originally from South Carolina.
Yes.
My mother and father met at Midlands Technical College. My
Uh-huh.
mother is originally from Georgetown, South Carolina, and they met and this is the
That's
product.
the product. But listen, tell us what your name means.
My name means someone popular. And when my
Oh.
dad told me that years ago, I probably was in middle school
Uh-huh.
and I was upset because people would tease me about my name. And my dad told me one day, he said, there's no reason for you to be upset about your name. Your name means someone popular. And I'm like, he's just telling me that to make me feel good. But, it dried up my tears, made me smile. Further down the line, I asked one of my dad's brother. I was like, Daddy told me that my name meant someone popular, and my
Mm-hmm.
uncle was like, he's right. You didn't believe your father? And I'm like, okay, but I just want to make sure. I wanted confirmation before I get out here telling the world someone popular. So I love my name. It took some time for me to love my name,
Wow.
and because y'all know, let me tell you, you got OTT, OD, OTITty, all those things, and it took years for me to embrace my name, and I love it now. But
Yes.
honestly, there's only two people that really call me by my name and say it correctly, and that's my new coworker and my father.
Wow.
Everyone else call me TT.
Wow. Wow.
Hmm.
Well, I'm going to try to be the third person. Atiti, right?
You doing good,
Okay, awesome sauce. Well, listen, let's go ahead and get into this interview. I've
girl?
already said, some of the things that you are, some of the titles that you wear. You wear a lot of titles. But what I would like for you to do, ITT, is to take maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes to tell people who you are and what you do.
Well, as everybody already know, my name is RTT. I'm a life coach. That comes first.
Mm.
The life coaching is dear and near to my heart, simply because I was in a very terrible, negative place years ago. I was suffering with depression. I was sick. I had just everything in my life seemed to go from 100 to zero.
Wow.
Um, and one day I was driving home. It was shortly after I had my son. I was driving to go pick him up from the daycare, and the tears came down. And I pulled over on the side of the road and I called my mom. She
Mm-hmm.
is the true endured extreme woman. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, my mom gives me so much knowledge and wisdom and everything. But I pulled over on the side of the road. I was crying and I had my eyes closed. My mother told me in the car, she said, TT, close your eyes. Envision where you want to go.
Wow.
She said, you're in a complacent mindset. And as I sat there and I closed my eyes, I promise you, Endure the Extreme came right across my leg. And and ever since then, I said, what if I can be that person that provide coaching services, and
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily coaching services, but motivation, inspiration, mentoring? What if I can be that person to help someone along the way? Because everyone don't have their mother there.
Right.
Everyone don't have that positive stone there that keeps them afloat. So that's the main reason. That's my baby. I do everything, center everything around Endure the Extreme.
Man, how cool is that? I was listening to a podcast a couple of days ago, and it says that a lot of times we birth our vision or we find ourselves living our purpose out of disgust or out of pain, out of hurt. A lot of times we don't walk into the plan from being jolly. It's because we're disgusted. We want to lose weight because we look in the mirror. We're disgusted at what we see. We want to make more money because we're disgusted at our bank accounts. We
Mhm.
want to change our lives because we're disgusted at the current status that we're in.
Mhm.
And so, how cool is that? Well, I don't know if it was cool for you, but cool is
Yeah.
that for you to be in your car at your lowest point and to be able to have that flash of inspiration where endure the extreme come across, and then boom, now you've given life to
Mhm.
this movement.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, and I got to tell you, I love the name Endure the Extreme.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that was definitely inspiration from God. I got to say that.
It was. It really was. It really was.
So, now we understand why you made the decision to become a life coach because you were at your lowest, right? And so, I want to ask you this though. You told us that you were at your lowest. You told us you
Mhm.
had the birth of the spotlight of inspiration.
Mhm.
But what actually compelled you to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and come up out of the valley situation?
Well, like I said, after I left, after I talked to my mom that
Mm-hmm.
afternoon, and I got, cranked the car back up and went to the daycare, and my son, he wasn't even one yet.
Mm-hmm.
So as I opened up the door to go into daycare and they passed him to me, I mean, that was like the light right there.
Wow.
That was when I said, okay, enough is enough. You have to pull yourself back up.
Mm-hmm.
No one can help you. No one, people can advise you,
Yeah.
but ultimately it's your decision.
Thank
And until
you.
you make your decision that, okay, you don't want to be in this place anymore, someone, I've always been a believer that people can give you what you need.
Mm-hmm.
And that is totally not the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You have to dig deep within yourself. And you have to come to a place such as I was at that time and say, okay, enough is enough. This is what I got to do. I have to do it. I have to create a blueprint.
That's it.
And when you create a blueprint, I don't, even when I'm talking with my clients, I tell them, don't use that modern day blueprint. See,
Mm-hmm.
nowadays we get on the computer and we make, architects, they do the blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to the 90s and the 80s and the
Mm-hmm.
70s when they pull out that blue paper and they took a pencil
Old
and they
school.
draw it out. So if something happens, you don't get stuck. You can
Right.
always erase it and make another room.
You
And
know,
that's what,
I love that analogy. I really love that because it's the point of not getting stuck, being able to erase it and draw another route, draw another plan.
hmm
So being flexible. That's
exactly.
important. That's important. And you touched on something that I thought was very near and dear to my heart because I just finished an ebook that says it takes more than motivation to succeed.
It
And
does.
you said something that was so significant to me that other people can motivate you, other people can inspire you, but at the end of the day, if your life is going to change, you have to take responsibility for your life, make a
Mhm.
decision, and take consistent action. So I totally agree with that. Listen, I wrote down some questions because I wanted to make sure I could
Okay.
tap into your mind
Okay.
over these next 20 minutes so that we can all
Okay.
be enlightened. Now, you went from writing and self publishing your first fiction novel,
hmm
Southern Tears of Karma, to now
hmm
publishing your first self help book. Now, I got to tell you, most people don't jump from fiction to self help. So, what made you do that? And then, after you tell us what made you do that, I'd like you to tell us a little bit more about your self help book.
So at that time, during that time, I was home. My husband was sick. My husband had to have back surgery,
Mm-hmm.
neck surgery. Then I had to have an emergency hysterectomy.
Mm-hmm.
As I was home, the TV wasn't doing anything for me.
Mm.
That's why I was like, God, how do people sit home all day and watch TV? The TV wasn't doing anything for me. So I started writing. And I'll never forget, I wrote like the first chapter of Southern Tears of Karma. Me, my sister, my mom, we were traveling from South Carolina to Georgia to go to the Joyce Myers event.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading it as we were driving. My sister
Mm-hmm.
was driving, and I was reading it. And my sister was like, "Wow, your imagination! You've always had an imagination. Why not put that in a book?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Well, you know what? I want to do something more along the lines of endure the extreme, because endure the extreme is motivation, encouragement, positive affirmations." And she said, "But isn't reading going to help any and everybody?
Yeah,
Not everybody reads self-help books."
that's
And she
true.
said, "I think you have something going here."
Wow.
So I continued to write,
Hmm.
and it got close to Christmas. And I'm telling you, I'm old school. I'm not even 40 yet, but I'm still old school. So I had the paper and the pen and writing, and you can see me scratching it out. Christmas, maybe about 3, 4 years ago, my husband gave me a laptop for my birth for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when I transferred everything in. And then I just, went on Facebook one day and I said, okay, anybody want to read my first 3 chapters?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, yeah. And the feedback that I got was awesome.
Wow.
I birthed that. I'm proud of it.
Wow.
Now I'm birthing another baby, which is Smell the Roses While You're Enduring. I love this book because
your title.
it's a very...
Can I just tell you, Otiti, your titles are mesmerizing. Your titles, just on the titles alone, I would purchase your books.
Yeah, I'm really a visual eye catcher type person.
Mm-hmm.
And I was coming back from
Sounds like the kids are coming around.
Yes, go back. Hey, honey. Thank you. All right. Yes, go with your dad. Okay, thanks.
This is reality, people. This is how we do it. Entrepreneurs, mothers. Mm-hmm. Hey.
5 kids. 5.
Oh my goodness. What a blessing.
Yes. So, and then when I wrote that book, I was coming back from Lisa Nichols' event last year. And I thought that was a major, powerful event. And I thought that I was going to get something at that actual event. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until I got back on the road and I was heading back to South Carolina. And I was like, oh, wow. What I'm getting right now is that everything that I've endured has placed me at this very moment. And during that time, it was a very hard time in my life. And though I'm a life coach, I have a life coach.
Right.
And though I motivate, people feel that you're supposed to be this cheerful person 24 hours out the day, but they forget that we're humans.
Exactly.
And when we pour, and sometimes I overly pour, sometimes I double pour. Mm-hmm. And at that time in my life, I poured so much that it was just an empty glass sitting there. Wow. I was going through a hard time with my husband. Me and my husband was on the verge of divorce, and that's all in the book. I had gained all my weight back from after I had that 2 blood clots in my lungs. And the medicine caused me to gain weight. Mm-hmm. So I was at a low point in my life, but I was still able to keep going. I was still able to keep trucking. And so when I wrote that book, that book came from not only my heart, it came from my soul, it came from pain, it came from tears, it came from happiness, it came from peace, it came from meditation, it came from so many different things. And when I pulled over and I said, God, whatever it is, and I'm not trying to act like I'm an evangelist, I'm a sinner, but I said, God, whatever it is, give it to me. Whatever you're trying to teach me, give it to me. Mm-hmm. I went in the gas station. I said, let me get me something to drink, gas up, head on back. When I went in the gas station, this young lady, the cashier, was standing, all in the book, was standing at the counter. A florist came in with some roses, a bouquet of roses. Mm-hmm. And she turned and looked at me and she said, I don't think I'm going to be able to go back this time. And when I looked at her, I could see that she piled on so much makeup on this side of her face. And I talked with her for a moment, and it kind of put things in perspective for me, because I said sometimes we complain about the smallest things in life when someone else is going through. I couldn't imagine going through what she was going through.
What did she mean she couldn't go back? What was she going through? What was the makeup for?
The makeup was for because she had a black eye.
Oh,
she had a black eye, and you can tell. I mean, though she did a good job covering it up, you can still tell. And me and her talked. Mm-hmm. And the last words, I'm not going to go into details about what we talked about, but I gave her my business card, and I said, I want you to make sure you call me in 2 hours. And then I looked at those roses, and I said, don't pay attention to the outside. Keep calm and smell the roses. And so while I'm driving home, I felt so good in my soul. The book came right to mind.
Wow.
I came in. I didn't even bring my suitcase out the car. I opened up my laptop and I started typing. And before I knew it, it was, I think, about 5:00 a.m. Already time for me to go to work the next day. I called out because it was in me.
Yes.
There was no way I could go to sleep.
You had to get it out.
There was no way I could do anything else. It was like labor. I was pushing. And before I knew it, I was already at 30,000 words in 2 days.
Whoa.
I was sitting there typing. Okay? I was typing. When I tell you that I typed, that was nothing but divine power. Because after I typed it, And I think it was like a little after 2, I had to go pick up my son.
Mm-hmm.
No sleep. Drove from Georgia, tight. Took a shower, tight.
Wow.
Took my son to school, tight. And I was like, something isn't something isn't right. As I was typing, the young lady called me.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me, she said, I took your advice. And let me be honest with you guys, I never encourage anyone to leave their spouse. That's not what I do. Endure the extreme mentors. It's only working on self. It's only
Gotcha.
self-development. So during that time, while I was doing that with her and she called me, we talked on the phone. I pulled out my sage. I started burning my sage and I spoke with her. And she said, I felt so powerful, so motivated to change my life.
Mm-hmm.
6 months later, she's in college in Georgia. She's going back to school to be a RN. She has left her abuser. She has moved into her own apartment.
Wow.
She no longer works at the gas station. She works at the campus where she goes to school.
Wow.
And I also told her, I said, I want you. And that's when the book shifted.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said, I don't want it to be just, sentences after sentences. I want to have affirmations.
Yes.
I want you to stop and think about it. And I said, would you do me the honor to give me whatever it is that you're thinking on your mind, to give me a quote to put in my book?
Mm-hmm.
And she gave it to me. And from there, I restructured everything around that one quote.
Wow. That's amazing when we have those, I call them divine interventions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at the right moment to let you know that you're on the right track. And it's like when God uploads the information, it's like you can't sleep, you can't eat.
Mm-mm.
And I'm going to be frank with you. Sometimes I can't even bathe until I
Yes.
download the information and get it out of me because I won't have peace until I get it out of me.
Yes.
So I love the way you describe that. I love the way how synchronicity works, how things are lined up because I don't believe in coincidences. Things are lined up to show us you're on the right path. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Tell them, everyone who's watching this interview, how they can get a copy of this book. The name of the book again and how they can get a copy.
The book, I'm going to be honest, I want to release the book in May because May is considered meditation month. Endure the Extreme does meditation. We do sage burning, all of those good things. So I'm going to officially release the book. You can pre-order right now via my website, but you will have the hard copy in your hand probably the 2nd or 3rd week of May because I want everything to be in alignment.
Gotcha.
I want when people get this book, it's because, okay, we're approaching the 200th day of 2017 and you're ready to make a change because sometimes we're so high January 1st, January 2nd, and then when we get to the middle of the year, it's like, oh God, new year, next year it'll be better. I want this book to bring you back up to January.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yes, you can pre-order the book from www.enduretheextreme.com, and that's all I'm doing. I just want to change one life. And the funny thing was, my sister in Purpose called me last night, and she said, you know what? I haven't seen you on Facebook. I just see little trickles. And I said, it's time for me to recharge because I'm going into another season.
Yes.
I'm going into another elevation. I said, I see what y'all doing. I see what y'all talking about. I see y'all likes. I see y'all beautiful pictures. But right now, I have to restore, rejuvenate, and revitalize everything in me because this next season is going to take me it's going to take me to where I've been praying for. It's going to take me to my destination. And it's no longer helping one person. It's helping the masses. That's where I'm at.
This may seem like a stupid question, but I'm going to ask you because I already know the answer.
Okay.
Why life coaching? Do you feel called to it? Do you feel like you were made to endure the extreme so that you can be a living testimony to others? Because, a lot of times people don't want to listen to people who haven't been where they've been, So do you feel that because you've walked down that road and you emerged victorious, that now you're qualified? Or, is it just you feel like that's my calling and I can't outrun my calling, so I got to do it?
You know what? I've tried to get away from it. Last year, I wanted to get away from it and I just wanted to stick to putting up some positive posts on Facebook and being an author.
Let me
That's
ask you
all
this.
I wanted.
It's a two-part question now, so you still got to answer that first question. But
Okay.
why did you try to get away from it? Answer that for me too.
I tried to get away from it because it was my purpose. See, oftentimes when we know we're supposed to do something
Ooh.
and we know it's going to move us, sometimes we back up and like, you can see it. You can see it. You can see it, and you know that's the end of the rainbow for you. But you get up there and you wanting it, and you get up to the rainbow, and you're like, no, I don't. That's too shiny. I don't think that's funny. So every time I try to step back from it, two steps, 2 more people, 3 more people, 4 more people, and before I knew it, I already had a little tribe. Mm-hmm. When I vanish off, and I'm known for vanishing off Facebook. I'm known for deactivating my account because I need that time. Mm-hmm. I will have people go to my website and send me a message. I will have people email me. I've even had people text me, where are you? Are you okay? I've had people go in my husband's inbox to see if I was okay. You feel me? So I feel that this is no longer a calling. Mm-hmm. This is what helped me breathe. Because I love helping other people, because people, and not everybody, but I went down all different avenues of my life. Mm-hmm. I went down this way, that way, upward. I was the one, when I finished high school in 97, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Okay. I was out of high school 5 years before I decided to go to college. Mm-hmm. Enrolled in Denmark Technical College. I was considered Jalisa from a different world on campus.
Yeah.
They were trying to tell me that I had a curfew, and I'm like, how do I have a curfew when I've already lived with a man for 5 years? I have a child. I've worked as a CNA. I've done everything imaginable. Mm-hmm. Because I was that child when my mother and my father said, don't touch it. It's hot. I was the one. I was like, I'm going to go touch it anyway.
I got to see for myself.
I was the oldest, and I had to. And everything I've touched. That's why when I talk to people, and they say, you're not going to believe this, and I hate to tell you this, I tell them plain, try me. Been there,
done that.
I've done it all, And at one time, I was scared because when I first came into this life coaching world, everybody was like, hi, my name is Sandra. And I was like, oh my God, that's not me, So I come in here and I'm like, hi, my name is TT. Hey, y'all. All right. Hi, my name is TT. Yeah, all right. And I'm like, I'm not like them.
But you know what you remind me of when you just did that? And you may have gotten this before. Iyanla Van Zandt. You just who you are.
When I cut my hair, everybody was like, oh, look a little Iyanla. I was like, you know what? I'll take it as a compliment because I love her.
Me too. Me too.
But I had to come in, and you might get a boop boop every now and then because I only can be me.
That's it.
And I think that's why people kind of gravitate towards me, because I'm me. Right. You're not going to tell me nothing. You're not going to tell me nothing I haven't at least done, experimented, or just I've done it all. Wow. But I got to a point in my life where I had to turn things around. And when you get to that point in your life, when you want to go from negative to positive, like Biggie Smalls used to say, going from negative to positive is the hardest thing you can do in your life. Yeah. You can stay negative and it's perfectly fine. Okay? You will have so many fans and so many teammates and so many girlfriends, so many boyfriends. You will have the whole county rooting you on. But as soon as you say, I'm going to go back to college and I'm going to get this. You know how many people fell off my Richter scale when I said I was going to college? When I got that associate's degree in science and came back to Georgetown, I was like, that's it. I'm going to go back. I'm going to work as a certified nursing assistant. My daddy said, no, you will not. You will go back and go get another degree. I went to South Carolina State, got my biology degree. Right now I'm working on my master's degree because I know that I deserve and needed more. And no matter what anybody told me to do, it was only going to turn from a dream into reality unless I did it. Yes, it's difficult to go from negative to positive because you will have a whole team with you when you're in that negative mindset. When you're doing negative things, everyone is going to be there to root you on. But then when you get that click in your mind to go from negative to positive, then people are going to start straying away. And, that's not a bad thing because not everyone is on that level. You know, not everyone is willing to see you change.
That's right.
Because when you change, you not only change from the inside, you change on the outside as well. And people get caught up on what you was. Ooh. Instead of what you will be.
Come on, somebody.
So that's one of the things that when I decided to go back to school, when I decided to write my book, people were for me, but many was against me. Many went back to, oh, I remember when she did XYZ. I remember, and that's all in the book. I remember when she did this. I remember when she got locked up. Everybody remembers all those things. Even when I had my book signing, and I was so happy, and I brought my oldest with me, and I was proud of it. And I went to my hometown, and one person came in there and he's like, I'm so happy you written a book. I remember when you were fighting and the police came and got you. And I'm like, you know, I'm truly old school, and there's a time and a place for everything.
It really is.
You know, but you got to remember, some people don't move with the time. That's why when people tell me that it's hard to change, listen, the world turns on an axis.
Yes.
The world is constantly turning.
Yes.
Okay? We used to use pagers. Now we have smartphones. We used to be in our grandma's kitchen going like this and waiting for the call. What is that? I forgot the name of the phone, but we'll turn the phone and wait for it to come on.
Rotor?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then stick your finger back in and go back around. I mean, you be all day just calling 911.
Absolutely.
But you know, everything changed. Yes. So if the tangible can change, why not the intangible? Ooh. Your mindset always supposed to be changing with the times. And sometimes we get complacent. And I've been in that complacent mindset. And oftentimes what my sisters say, and I love my sister, that's my best friend. You know, my sister's a medical doctor, and she tells me all the time, TT, don't ever dumb yourself down.
Ooh, yeah.
She said, because you have so much in you, but TT, sometimes you dumb yourself down to stay complacent, to remain in the same place. And, you know, I had to think about it, because I was like, okay, I'm the oldest. Why are you giving me advice? And then I thought about it. She was absolutely correct.
Wow.
Because I was like, I'm going to just do a couple of, I told her, I said, I'm going to write the book. And then the funny thing with Southern Tears of Karma, that book took me 3 years because I put that book down. I typed it, I saved it, and put it down. And then that's when she told me, she said, Titi, why haven't you published that book yet? And I said, I just don't feel like I'm smart enough. And she said, send the book to an editor. That's what editors are for.
Come on now.
So when people tell me that they can't write a book because of their grammar, I tell them plain. First of all, I have a little bit of Southern and a little bit of African. Half my words and sentences make no sense. I understand what I'm saying, you know, because I grew up in a blended house where we put everything in a pot and mix it.
Yes.
So I'm both. I can be African some days. I can be American some days. So when people tell me they can't write a book, I give them my manuscript. You can't do nothing with it because I already published it. But I'm going to forward it to you so you can look at it. That woman, I love her, Nolita Brown. I love her. But when I tell you that book, that manuscript had bled red, it was red. You know, and I was like, gosh. And my oldest, he was probably 14 or 15 at the time, and he's a scholar. And he looked at it, and I printed it off, all those pages, and he said, Mommy, did you reread what you wrote? And, you know, I was like, oh, my God, because I'm always telling him, make sure you go back and check over your work if you have time. But it's crazy because you can do anything.
Yeah.
Anything you want to do. There is nothing stopping anybody to fulfill their dreams and their goals.
Absolutely.
If there's a man that doesn't have no legs, but wears 2 prosthetics, and he's a weightlifter, he runs several miles a day. If he can do it, why can't we?
Why can't we? That's a great question. Listen, I have taken up so much of your time already. I could talk to you for hours upon hours upon hours. You are very inspirational. And I really love your brand, Endure the Extreme. And for anyone who's watching, will you please tell them how they can become an Endure ambassador, how they can contact you, how they can continue to carry on conversation with you long after this interview has ended.
I finally feel good to say this. All you have to do is go in your Google box and put in Endure the Extreme, and that is cheap. I am everywhere, baby. Everywhere you see Endure the Extreme, that is me. I finally am in a position. Earlier this month, I brought on some team members, but I still answer my own inboxes. I still answer my own emails. Wherever you see Endure the Extreme, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, all of that, that's me. All you have to do is send that message, and I'll lead you in the right direction.
Come on, somebody. All right. Well, I want to thank you so much, Otiti Wright. You have been a pleasure to speak with. I'm inspired, and it takes a lot to inspire me because I listen to a lot of audio. I read a lot of books. I've heard this, heard that. But what really inspires me is people's stories. And so that's why I love to interview people and talk to them. And your story is a really great story. It's really motivating, very uplifting. And I thank you. I thank you for
I thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it. I thank you. I follow you. I'm telling you, I follow you. And I'm inspired by you. I'm not inspired by the big dogs. I'm inspired by them average Joes. I'm inspired by those ones that they're doing A, but they still got to go home and make sure their kids eat. I love that.
Exactly.
Because that's real life, and we've gotten away from real life.
And that's true. That's why I liked it when you tell your kids to go away, because it's like, this is real. Listen, we are working the hustle, the dream, and the job, okay? Being the mom, the wife, or the girlfriend in my case. I'm not married yet. But, I mean, just wearing so many different hats and not having an excuse, enduring the extreme, right?
Yes.
Smelling the roses while we endure. So thank you again for interviewing you again. Maybe even after the book comes out, we can talk about the book. I'll read the book. We can talk about it. But until then, thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure. All right.
Thank you.
Love. Back to you. Reciprocated.
Thank you.
All right. You have a great one.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.